Hello, I'm Loreal Prystaj, and I'm exhibiting presently at number 20 Arts in the exhibition Around the Table. I'm a London-based artist, and I work predominantly in photography, but I apply my photographs in installation, moving image, and I also have expanded a bit into sculptural works. So presently we are in an installation called Nude Pepper. It all started with taking the photograph, and a lot of my work starts, it doesn't mean it ends this way, but it starts with self-portraiture for me to understand the environment that I'm in, and then that can lead to new projects. So I had taken these self-portraits of myself during lockdown, and it kind of contorted my body in different shapes in front of this tablecloth that I had found at, some corner shop. And it kind of sat in the back burner for a long time, and I didn't know if I was ever going to use it. Anyways, I come back to the image, and when I looked at it, it was like, this is kind of interesting, this is unique. It was my partner that walked by, actually, and he's like, oh my gosh, it looks like a pepper. And suddenly, in my head, it popped in my head, like, this is something I have to use some way or another. That being said, I looked at the image and I started thinking about how it could be used, and perceived that it would look really great as an installation. And in this installation, I wanted to create a space that was overstimulating, but overstimulating in something that seems familiar, and I wanted to create a kitchen space. A space that everybody had been restricted to and confined to for many hours over the past year. And so in that space, everybody has been finding ways to experience their senses, maybe through touch, seeing, and adapting to that space. So I wanted to create something that was bringing people back to using their senses. So within Nude Pepper installation, there's this overwhelming visual of something that looks like a pepper, but as you get closer, you actually see it's a nude form. And alongside within the installation, to add to the multi-sensory experience, is a scent of a green pepper. Also within the installation is a sound piece, and it just adds to this over-sensory, multi-sensory, overstimulating experience. So this is the Nude Pepper installation. So right now I'm in front of this work called Have You Dined Sufficiently? Plate Collection. And it was an idea that I wanted to take from a cookbook. And the idea was considering how we've once again been in lockdown, been restricted to our homes, and how is it that we're using our senses, and considering these different haptic experiences sensually, especially in a time of isolation. So while I was looking through a cookbook, I'm looking through it was like from the 50s, and I'm looking through these step-by-step instructions, and there were these hand illustrations. And I was like, oh, this is so interesting. I'm looking at these images that are showing how to cook something, but at the same time, they almost insinuate something very erotic. And I thought that was a good departure point for making some sort of illustrational kind of work that could be printed on plates. So in taking those images out of their context and decontextualizing, I wanted people to look at them and question what it is that they're seeing. So this plate, for example, is just correlating with how I explained what the series is all about, of decontextualizing from a step-by-step cookbook an image. So just the behind the scenes of what this image was before I scanned it into the computer, uploaded it, and I had edited it and manipulated it in a way that would eroticize the image. But this, for example, was a step-by-step on how to make some form of stuffed chicken fillet. So in the step-by-step, you actually see different images of the chicken, and you see like maybe the cheese or whatever they're gonna stuff, but in taking all those things out and editing certain things, it becomes something completely different that people can perceive and however they want to perceive. So it's a whole process that was reappropriating or appropriating these images where people can see something different than the context that they should be used in response to isolation and considering cooking and food and that being a form of touch or haptic experience that is sensual.